Is what you all been waiting for.
You're tapped in the Way Up with Angela Yee.
Yo, what's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. Happy Tuesday. I'm excited for this because we have a special guest joining us today, Roxanne Shanté. I know y'all saw Roxanne on Netflix. Well, there is a new Bobby Digital Presents Juice Crew album. That's all about Roxanne Shanté, and she's on the album too. So I'm excited to talk to her today. She'll be joining us. But in the meantime, let's spread some love and positivity. Let's shine a light. Now, you know how we always start the show off, 800-292-5150. With so much going on in the world, we want to make sure that we're always shedding light on the positive things that are happening. So you call us up, 800-292-51. Let us know who you would like to shine a light on. Who would you like to spread some love and some positivity to? And we shall do the same. Again, that's 800-292-5150. Call us up and let's shine a light.
We gon' light the block up. I'ma shine. I'ma shine.
Turn your lights on, y'all.
Turn your lights on.
Spreading love to those who are doing greatness.
Shine a light on them. Shine a light on them.
It's time to shine a light on them.
All right, it's Way Up with Angela Yee, and it's time to shine a light. And today I want to shine a light on Jamila and Alfonso Wright. They are the co-founders of Brooklyn Tea, and they celebrated the grand opening of their storefront at JFK Airport. They're the first ever tea-focused retail concept at JFK and the first Black-owned tea brand to be in any airport nationwide. So shout out to them. That is such a big deal. They launched their online business in 2017. They opened up a storefront in 2018 in Bed-Stuy on Lewis Avenue, and they have a very loyal following, and now they are going to be in JFK's Terminal 4. So congratulations. It's great to see everything that's opening at that airport. You know, last year JFK launched a small business retail accelerator. There were 3 Black women-owned brands, Mother Earth Juice Bar, Beautiful Amore Skincare, and Bevel's Kitchen. And that's all in Terminal 8. And so this tea brand storefront features 11 exclusive tea varieties pulled from their assortment. They have over 150 teas and herbs. And this is going to meet the diverse needs of travelers. You can also purchase boxes of tea and take that home to a loved one. So again, shout out to Jamila and Alfonso Wright. All right, now, Skylar, who do you want to shine a light on?
I would like to shine a light on my mother, Tamika Wallace, and Miss Jackie Summers.
Wait, is your mother Tamika Wallace or your mother and Tamika Wallace?
My mother and my other mother.
Okay, you have 2 mothers. Explain that.
So one of them is the girl I've been talking to, her mom.
Okay.
She actually came into life and showed me that there's a different way of handling everything other than what I've been shown.
Mm-hmm.
And she's been very kind and direct to me in life. And my mother is Tamika Wallace, my actual biological mother.
Okay. So you want to shine a light on both your mothers?
Yes, ma'am. So my mother, Tamika Wallace, she has heart failure.
Wow.
And she has been a trooper for the most part. And that's why I want to shine a light on her, because even when it seems like it's tough, she's still trying to smile and get other people to smile.
Okay, I love that.
And my mother, Jackie, well, my other mother, she's been very kind and very patient and basically helping me to understand as an adult how I need to function, like why I can do better and why I can change as a person.
All right, I love that. Well, thank you for calling. I'm happy to hear that.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that was Shine a Light, 800-292-5150. If you can't get through, you can always leave a message and shine a light for last word. When we come back, let's talk about Don Lemon. He sat down on Jimmy Kimmel Live last night, talked about his arrest that happened in L.A., and then let's also talk about the woman who was Jane Doe, Rashona Landfair. She did CBS Mornings. It's her first TV interview about her memoir, Who's Watching Shorty? Reclaiming Myself from the Shame of R. Kelly's Abuse. It's Way Up.
They say it's truth in the rumors.
From industry shade to all the gossip, Angela's spilling that Yee tea.
All right, it's Way Up with Angela Yee, and it's time for your Yee tea. Now, Don Lemon was on Jimmy Kimmel. He was talking about being detained by federal agents and how they really just wanted to embarrass him. This is all when he was in Beverly Hills. You know, it was Grammy weekend. He was actually on my flight out to L.A., and it made national news, and everyone was talking about him getting arrested. Listen to what he said.
I was here to cover the Grammys, and I got back to the hotel. I walking up to the room, and I pressed the elevator button, and all of a sudden I feel myself being jostled, and people trying to grab me and put me in handcuffs. And I said, "What are you doing here?" And they said, "We came to arrest you." And I said, "Who are you?" And then finally they identified themselves, and I said, "If you are who you are, then where's the warrant?" and they didn't have a warrant. So they had to wait for someone from outside, an FBI guy, to come in to show me a warrant. And they took me outside. It had to be a dozen people.
Now, he had to offer to turn himself in prior to this, he alleges, and they never got a response. He knew that after his coverage of protesters who interrupted services at a church in St. Paul, that this was potentially going to happen. He had gotten a heads up about it, but I guess he feels that they wanted to embarrass him. Here's what he told Jimmy Kimmel.
I think my attorney tried to contact them once, maybe twice, that I could just go in and it would have to be the folks who were just working there that day, and they wouldn't have to have all these people following me around.
It's more than just a waste of resources. So they grab you and they take you where?
Well, you're right about more than just a waste of resources. They want that. They want to embarrass you. They want to intimidate you. They want to instill fear, and so that's why they did it that way. They took me down to a holding place in the federal courthouse.
So he was there for more than 12 hours, didn't even know this whole thing was national headlines. I feel like it had the opposite effect of what they were trying to do, because if anything, it made everybody like, what is going on? You can't be a journalist. And he was basically basically covering this whole incident at City's Church, where there was a pastor who was actually part of ICE, and protesters were actually saying, this is disgusting that you're a pastor and you're an ICE agent. Right, Dan?
I just think it's ironic that, the left is getting attacked for their free speech when it's what the right runs on.
All right. Well, he does plan to plead not guilty. His next court appearance is February 9th in Minneapolis. Now, the woman who testified as Jane Doe at R. Kelly's 2022 federal trial is on CBS Mornings, and her name is Rashona Landfair. She is now saying who she is, her true self. She also has a book coming out, Who's Watching Shorty? Reclaiming Myself from the Shame of R. Kelly's Abuse. And she talks about a lot of things, including that sex tape. She was the one that was allegedly 14 years old at the time that this sex tape came out, and she discusses that whole process of when he told her that the sex tape was being sold nationwide, and then got arrested on child pornography charges back in 2002.
I was empty and I was embarrassed.
Why not tell the truth in 2002 or 2008 when there was finally a trial after 6 years?
That's one of my biggest regrets. But again, when I have been trained and groomed since I was age 13, I started believing the lies that I was telling. And even in moments where I despised Robert, I still lied for him.
Wow, imagine that. She was so young at that time. Now, she also says that she wished the trial went different. Here's what she said.
Do you look at even the justice system as not protecting you to some extent? I mean, thinking about that video being played before a gallery of everyday citizens?
I definitely think things could have been handled differently. I'm happy I wasn't there to witness everyone watching that.
And so she also says the Surviving R. Kelly docuseries changed everything, and a spirit of conviction came over her at that time. All right, well, that is your Yeetie. When we come back, we have About Last Night, where we'll discuss what we did last night. I got to tell you what I've been watching on TV, and I am locked in. When we come back, it's Way Up.
So, about last night. Here's how it went down.
Yo, it's Way Up with Angela Yee, and it's time for About Last Night. And I do want to say, when I left work yesterday, it took me so long to get home. The traffic has been crazy because the snow has not been cleaned from the streets, so there's a lot of things that are backed up. But, patience is key right now. Now, the show that I've been watching on Netflix that I went home to catch up on is, and I don't know if any of you have watched this show, it's called Unlocked. Nobody?
I haven't. Put me on.
Nobody? All right. So basically, this is season 2, and I definitely watched season 1 also. I think they were in Arkansas in season 1, and now they're in Arizona.
Okay.
So it's an experiment in jail. It's a correctional facility, and basically, they're for 6 weeks. If they can behave right, these inmates will have their cell doors unlocked, and there's not going to be any corrections officers in there with them.
Is this real or fiction?
It's real. It's a real experiment.
Okay.
It's a docuseries, and they just think about the fact that like one person can mess it up for everybody. So if you do something, you get into it, you start fighting, now you're locked down again. And that did happen, like, early on, people did get locked back down again, but then they allowed them to continue the experiment to see if they could actually come and work together because they want to be able to maintain these freedoms.
This is interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I thought it was nice because there were certain things you had a chance to see, because I think sometimes people look at inmates and think they're like terrible people, awful human beings. They committed a crime. They did this, they did that. They're drug addicts, whatever. But on here, you can see the humanity of human beings who are in a bad situation, and sometimes even how they got there. There's one inmate who's both his parents died, and they said it was a murder-suicide, but he's just choosing to believe that because he doesn't want to think something else. And he was the oldest, had to raise the whole family when he was young, went to go live with just all kinds of things that can lead to somebody making bad choices because they don't have the proper guidance.
Right. I was going to ask, is this a group of people that are in there for like violent crimes, nonviolent crimes?
I feel like they're mostly nonviolent crimes.
Right.
And so I want to say that while watching this, you see they got like one episode, once they've been just getting along for a while, they're given certain perks, like free phone calls. Those phone calls were 18 cents a minute before that. People couldn't afford to like call their own family members, their kids, their significant others. So having free phone calls was a thing. But then it's like, okay, is there going to be fighting over who gets to use the phone? And there wasn't, because people did not want to lose those privileges. Right. But one thing I do want to say is ego seems like early on one of the biggest issues that happened. And there's a guy on here, Chapo, and he ends up getting into a bit of an argument because one of the guys is snoring. He hits the bunk and then they get into it, and he doesn't want to apologize or go through a certain thing, but later on it smooths out. But I want to ask you, are there times that your ego has gotten the best of you?
Absolutely.
And kind of you look back and you're like, what was I thinking? Because I feel like that happens to all of us. 800-292-5150. If you've been watching Unlock, you know who Chapo is. Everybody was mad at him on the show, and they were actually trying to figure out a way to get him out of there because his ego wouldn't allow him to say I'm wrong or let me work within this system.
Common issue.
800-292-5150. Where's a time that your ego got the best of you and you ended up in a bad situation? Or as Dave Chappelle would say, when keeping it real goes wrong. 800-292-5150. Call us up.
You vibing way up with Angela Yee.
Come right back.
More now.
Yes, it's Way Up with Angela Yee, and we are talking about the time that your ego got the best of you. Dan, you have had situations.
That happened a while ago. I was young. It was my first job, and my boss asked me to clean up after. So it was like a camp, and my boss asked me to clean up this mess that these kids left behind, and I was like, absolutely not. Suspended me without pay. And that was an eye-opener.
Yeah, humble yourself.
Definitely was.
All right, I think I was talking about this with my best friend. We were talking about the only time we ever got into an argument, and she started this whole pyramid when we were in college. And then I was like the first one, so I branched off and did mine, and my pyramid was turning over really fast, like every day. Hers was every week. And then she came to me like, no one's joining our pyramid because yours is moving too fast and you're getting all the people. I was like, too bad, haha. And that was the first time we ever got into a fight. And that's just because, I was being money hungry and my ego got the best of me. But we made up and never fought again since. All right, now, Bobby, tell us about the time your ego got the best of you.
I said a few things to the guy, ego tripping. We had a disagreement in the club. I could have let it go. I said a few things. I guess he was embarrassed. And on the way to the car, when we left out, he shot me in my pelvis, getting in the car.
Wait, you got shot?
I got shot. He shot me in the pelvis because he didn't like what I said.
What did you say?
And like I said, I told him, he got into it with a guy that was with us, one of my guys. He was shorter. He was probably below 5'3". He was a real short guy. So I'm 6'2". This guy about 6'4", 6'5". So I told him, I said, you're a big goofy guy. Take it up with us because I'm about your height. And he ain't like it. Like I said, just boosting up the ego, like I'm your height so we can get it. And they waited on me to come out the club, and he shot me in my pelvis as soon as I went to the car.
Wow. Well, I'm glad that you're still here with us. That could have went completely even worse.
Yeah, it could have. But I just wanted to share y'all with that. The ego can go, it can go terribly wrong. So sometimes you need to be humble and just kind of let stuff go. That's why I wanted to share that with y'all.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that.
You too. Thank you.
Hey, Daniel. Tell me about a time your ego got the best of you.
Yeah, so I did 10 years in Georgia prison system.
Sheesh.
And I got moved to an open dorm. Some of the guys, younger cats, they was being loud and noxious. I couldn't sleep, so I had got up, got into it with one of the young cats. By that time, the whole dorm got woke up. The old school cats, they telling me, calm down, calm down. I guess I was just frustrated. And, I had fired off on one of them youngins.
Wow.
And the warden had come in the next day for an inspection. Then he was beat up. Nobody would tell what happened. And the warden, he actually punished the whole dorm.
Oh, damn. So now you got everybody in trouble.
Yeah. I felt real bad about that.
Mm-hmm. Right. Do you watch Unlocked?
I've seen a few episodes. It's a really good thing what that sheriff is doing. Because the most important thing about being in there is your family and being able to get in contact with your family.
Right.
And him giving them free phone calls, that's a blessing.
Well, thank you for calling, Daniel. Glad you learned from that lesson.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you now, rehabilitation really works.
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you for calling.
All right, thank you.
Well, thank you guys for calling. You can still call us up, 800-292-5150. We're talking about the time that your ego got the best of you and it didn't end well. And when we come back, we have your Yee Tea. And this was disappointing news to hear about Sherry Shepherd's talk show getting canceled after 4 seasons. We'll give you the details that we know so far. It's way up.
She want the tea. Oh, she came with receipts. It's time to spill that Yee Tea.
All right, it's Way Up with Angela Yee, and it is time for your Yee Tea. And Melinda French Gates was recently on Wild Card with Rachel Martin and NPR, and she was asked about her response to Bill Gates, the claims about Bill Gates in the latest Epstein files, and she definitely answered the question. Here's what she said.
For me, it's personally hard whenever those details come up because it brings back memories of some very, very painful times in my marriage, but I have moved on from that. So whatever questions remain there of what I can't even begin to know all of it, those questions are for those people and for even my ex-husband. They need to answer to those things, not me.
Now, let's not forget, in these files, there was a draft email that said that Bill Gates had begged to erase messages about an alleged sexually transmitted disease and a request for antibiotics that he could secretly give to Melinda Gates and a graphic description of his penis. So all of that allegedly, well, I guess it's not alleged anymore, but yes. So, she's definitely, she didn't say that was true or not true. But why would she know then? Because if he was trying to secretly give her some type of, Dan, why?
He's got explaining to do. That's it. That's what she's saying.
He probably is like, yeah. And I want to say that that's great that she can also not try to take up for him. Because I think a lot of times that's her ex-husband. She might feel like, I don't want to say too much, but she did say she felt unbelievable sadness. All right. Well, former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton are agreeing to testify in a House investigation into Jeffrey Epstein also. So they will be looking forward, they said, to setting a precedent that applies to everyone. So we don't know when and where this is going to happen, but they have agreed to the terms, and there's no clarity to what those terms are yet. All right. Now let's send some love to Sherry Shepherd. That's my girl, and her daytime talk show got canceled after 4 seasons. Now, according to the producer-distributor Debmar Mercury, they're going to explore continuing the show on a digital platform. And so while it might be goodbye on daytime talk show, and according to reports, the decision is because of the evolving daytime television landscape. It does not reflect on the strength of the show. The show has found strong creative momentum, but there's other reasons why they're now going to have to explore alternatives for it on another platform. Now, Kelly Clarkson's show is also ending after 7 seasons. And this announcement was shared with the show staff and crew. And, there was speculation that the show wasn't going to continue. Kelly Clarkson's contract was believed to be up at the end of the season, and they were expecting that she would depart, and now she's made that decision official. She's been raising her 2 children. She was married. Unfortunately, her ex-husband did die from cancer, and so she does want to spend some more time with her kids, and that's something that she has expressed previously as well. So, best of luck. She posted, "I've been extremely fortunate to work with such an outstanding group of people, both in LA and New York. There have been so many amazing moments. And she thanked NBC for being a supportive and incredible partner." All right, well, that is your Yeetie. When we come back, we have Under the Radar. These are the stories that are not necessarily in the headlines. They're flying under the radar. One of them is about some things you can do for Valentine's Day, and it has to do with McDonald's. And then I want to talk about a woman who has actually gotten charged for squatting in a home. It's way up.
And I'm back.
We about to do this. One of the most famous women in radio. We're talking about Angela Yee.
You're way up with Angela Yee.
Please believe that.
Yes, we are. And we are getting ready for Valentine's Day. Dan, I know you got your plan ready.
Yes, I do.
I was thinking that because I'm not home much, this would be a good time for me to plan to do something at home. And, you know, here's a stat that's surprising. 62% of adults say a home-cooked meal is more romantic than an expensive restaurant dinner. So I know you're always like posting pictures of home-cooked meals, which I don't believe. But anyway, instead of fighting for a reservation, people are now turning their house into a date. That means candles. That means some throws that you can have by the couch because it is freezing out here right now. Tableware, really cute. All these little details that make it feel intentional. But Macy's has all of those things. So that's a one-stop shop where you can find everything to build the vibe at home and grab all those meaningful gifts in one stop. Now, one thing I got from Macy's that I love are these heart-shaped Le Creuset Dutch ovens.
Those are amazing.
Yes. And so I was thinking about a cute thing to make in there is to bake bread. Imagine some heart-shaped bread.
Okay.
And
like
you can
focaccia?
Yeah. And then you can bake the bread.
You
in
can
the
pull
little,
that off?
Well, I've been
You
looking
need me
at
to do
the
it.
recipes
Okay.
of how to do it. I feel like I'm going to do a little practice run.
Okay.
And see if I can get it done right. But the effort matters
It's got to be edible, though.
a lot too. Yes, it does. No edibles. You said edible?
The food's
I
gotta
know, I'm
be
kidding.
edible.
But anyway, Macy's does offer flexible shopping options. They also have fast shipping. So if you can't get there, you can also go online and pick it up in the store. They have same day pickup because some of you guys are last minute just like me. And Valentine's Day, one more time, is Saturday, February 14th. Macy's is the destination for getting everything you need for Valentine's Day. So get to your local Macy's this Valentine's Day and let's make it happen. That effort matters so much. And when we come back, we have your Yeetie. And, you know, we're talking about love. Imagine being in love but not wanting to live in the same house as your significant other. We'll tell you who said that. All right, it's way up. And here's Lil Wayne with Lollipop.
Just like to talk like they Angela Yee, like they Angela Yee.
Man, she's spilling it all. This is Yee T. Way up.
It's Way Up with Angela Yee, and it's time for Yo Yee T. And Keke Palmer was on the Today Show, and she talked about a few different things. She's promoting The Burbs. That's her series on Peacock. And one thing that she talked about is being in a relationship. They did a role play scenario, like they were on a first date, and she was asked if she wanted kids. She already does have a kid, you know. Here's what happened.
One thing I need you to know is that I never want to live together. I just feel like, you know, Whoopi Goldberg said it best once. She was like, I don't want nobody in my house.
Yeah.
Wait.
Time out. You're for real right now.
She's for real.
So what
marry
about, like,
even.
So you're going to live around the corner?
Around the corner would be great. At best, separate rooms.
You know, it's a new thing where people are talking about everything on the first date. Marriage, politics, living together or not. So I can imagine not living with my man.
I couldn't agree more. I think it's like a
You
non-negotiable.
want to live with my man?
Oh, stop it. Living with your partner. I think it's a non-negotiable when you're dating to like take it to the next step.
Also, I think for Keke, somebody as busy as she is, when you come home, like you probably barely get to see someone. So sometimes the time you connect is when you are both at home. All right. Now, this is exciting. You hear Miguel playing. Well, he did Tiny Desk again. The first time he did it was back in like 2012. Well, now he is back, and this actually just came out a half an hour ago. And here's a little preview for you of his Tiny Desk concert. This is my song right here, How Many Drinks?
How many drinks would it take you to leave with me? Yeah, you look good and I got money, but I don't want to waste my time. Back of my mind, I'm hoping you say to
And so, yes, Miguel got a lot of songs that I love. You know, he also did Do You. That's my joint right there, too. You know a song that I love by Miguel, and I don't think he did this on his first one either, but the song he has with Janelle Monáe called Prime Time. That's my song too, but shout out to Miguel. All right, and Ari Lennox has announced her Vacancy Tour dates. That's kicking off April 12th in Seattle and ending in Charlotte, North Carolina on June 6th. So get ready for that tour. I would go see Ari Lennox in concert. And lastly, let's talk about Big Sean. Big Sean and Usher recently were on GMA, and they were talking about Big Sean's new Detroit Boys and Girls Club. Now, Usher also has some experience with the Boys and Girls Club. He's invested and connected to the one in Atlanta, so he wanted to invest in the one in Detroit. Here's what he said.
This was an opportunity for us to continue to expand. As of 2024, I opened the Spark Lab with Boys and Girls Club in Atlanta, and then I saw the opportunity for us to connect Detroit. And you just think about the history of Detroit, the fact that if there were no Motown, there would not be any LaFace Records or any of the entrepreneurs that came out of Atlanta. So here was an opportunity for us to get some economic mobility with young men and women here in Detroit. You know, as an alumni, this is an opportunity to pay it back to the clubs that invested in me.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing. Now, here's what Big Sean had to say on his foundation and also being in the heart of Detroit.
Just taking place right in the heart of the city. So it is the culture, and they're buying into every aspect of the community. And I think that's the difference between just like a gentrification type of situation and really empowering the city and giving them the tools and saying, hey, all right, now it's your time to step up. You know, this is probably the most exclusive club of Boys and Girls Club in America. They learning so many things at once.
All right, beautiful thing. Shout out to Big Sean and to Usher. Oh, and lastly, the Remy Network has announced the Max B Return of the Wave documentary that's going to be coming soon. Welcome Home Max B documentary. You know, Remy got her own network, and so you can watch that documentary there. You know, French Montana is online, and he seems like he's having a good time with his friend, too. All right, well, that is your Yeetie. When we come back, we have Ask Yee, 800-292-5150. If you have a question, I'm here to help you out. Again, that's 800-292-5150. Anything that you want to ask me, you know, I got your back. I'm going to help you out. It's Way Up.
Relationship or career advice. Angela's dropping facts.
All you should know.
This is Ask Yee.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee, and it's time for Ask Yee. And we have Dorby on the line today. His girlfriend has a cousin who's LGBTQIA, and his girlfriend has also dabbled in that lifestyle, but he has an issue with it. Can they move past it?
I've been talking to someone for about 7 months, and we want to be together, but we had a big disagreement. Her cousin is part of the
LGBTQIA plus community.
Yeah. Sorry. My culture really doesn't support that, and that kind of was disagreement. I don't want to go like too far.
Okay. So she wants you to be embracing of her cousin's lifestyle choices, but it's not something you're comfortable with.
Correct. And then she dibbled and dabbed when she was younger.
When you say you don't support it, what is it that you would have to do?
I don't hate or anything. I just don't support that lifestyle. Like, I believe in the Bible system.
And you know, these sound like some real fundamental beliefs that you guys don't agree on. Some things we can budge on, but this is not something that it feels like she'll be okay with or you'll be okay with.
I see that we are moving forward a little bit, but it seems like we put that behind us.
I have a question. Why did you want that to be known if you're not going to act any differently?
Well, just seeing if he was still involved.
Okay, if she's still, so you don't want to have a threesome or anything. You're like, I'm not into that.
No.
So how do you feel about her aside from this? Is this somebody you could see yourself really being with?
I can.
All right. This is something that's going to end up coming up again because I would think she's close to her cousin. And I feel like y'all really need to have a conversation when you're not mad at each other about it. And clearly she feels very strongly in supporting her cousin and also things that she's done in the past. And so the question is, what does that mean for you? Because she's okay with it, and this is her family, and this is also her existence. It's really kind of on you. You have to figure out, like, how important is this to you?
Right.
As far as your beliefs, and then even your family, like, what's that going to be like?
I think about that all the time because they don't know.
All right. So I would say it's on you, but have that conversation with her, but also have it with yourself.
Okay. That sounds fair.
All right. Thank you for calling, Darby. Good luck.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, that was Ask Ye, 800-292-5150 in case you couldn't get through and you have a question. You can leave that in the voicemails or you can click that talkback button on your iHeartRadio app and we can get to your question. And when we come back, we have Roxanne Shanté joining us, part of the legendary Juice Crew. She's a legend herself. We'll be talking about Bobby Digital Presents Juice Crew and everything else she has going on. You know, she is a Grammy Lifetime Achievement winner as well. It's way up.
And I'm back.
We about to do this. One of the most famous women in radio. We're talking about Angela Yee.
You're way up with Angela Yee.
Please believe that.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee. Y'all know I'm excited because Roxanne Shanté is here with me today. Welcome to Way Up with Angela Yee.
Thank you. Please believe, and I see you done took it way up, okay?
I know. Listen, I already know because she's already looking around the room thinking of rhymes in her head. I know you are. Every time we see each other, it's like a celebration.
Yes, it is.
The first time we really spent time together, though, we were in South Africa.
Yes.
And it was for Women MCs, Her Story. And I was like, I can't believe I'm out here with Roxanne Shanté. It was a very surreal experience for me.
Oh, thank you. Me too. And I think one of the things that people don't seem to understand is that the impact that you have internationally is incredible.
You know, we had a chance to talk about, obviously, the Netflix movie when you did that, Roxanne. And I know that you've said there's a part 2 coming. So I have to ask and start with that because we saw Nas at the end of that being introduced. But is that something that's really still happening?
Yes, absolutely. That it is. And, you know, when we get off the air, I'm going to show you something.
Oh, something to show. Okay,
something
we love
to show
it.
you. Yes.
Okay, well, speaking of Lolita.
Yes.
You know, Bobby Digital presents Juice Crew.
Yes.
And Craig G did a song, Lolita, on there that is based on you. And so can you talk about this song, Lolita?
When I first heard it, I cried because it allowed me to hear, and not just Lolita, but the entire project. It allowed me to hear what my brothers were thinking about me and what was going on in my life. So literally, it was being able to see Roxanne Shanté through their eyes, through the eyes of your Big Daddy Kane, you know, your Cool G Rap, MC Shan. So for them to take time out and say, you know what, this was about the hustler she used to date, and this is about her life here, and this has about Miss Peggy, and this is about how she felt when she didn't want to be in the game no more, and all of these different things. So it tied everything in. And then it's an honor for me to be able to sit back and say, here's a project where, you know, I started off in my career with a song, Roxanne, where I just jumped in and became Roxanne Shanté. But for this album to come along and really be about Shanté, then I can really sit back and say, why'd you have to make a record about me? You know, that's
ROXA.
See, that's what I'm saying. So, and I would be
it lives on forever and ever.
Yeah, you know, so it's an honor for me. Like, the whole project is an honor for me.
Right now, Roxanne Shanté is here. She made history as the first solo female rapper to receive a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. And even you reflecting on Roxanne the Truth. Because, you know, we got to hear you rhyme, too. And people do get to hear that, like, when you do the news and things like that.
Yes.
But back then, when you decided you didn't want to do that anymore.
Yes.
When you look back at that decision, do you ever think sliding doors moment, like, what if I would have kept going?
You know, unfortunately, I never was a person to go through those sliding doors. And I'm going to tell you, I never was a what if person. And the reason why is because I always had to live in the now. You know, going through foster care, going through the situations that I went through, going through certain abuses and things like that, that once I got through something, I got through it. You know, you're thinking about things that took place when I was 14 years old, 15 years old, 16 years old, everything that I went through. So it was more of a strength for me to be able to take those things. And I call it Pandora's box. Like, I literally have this trunk at home, like a chest, a big trunk. And inside of it were things that I threw in there that were from the 80s. I locked the trunk, and the trunk is locked, and we have not opened it.
Wow.
So everyone is like, what is in that trunk? For me, it was like, I didn't want to open it up at a time where I felt I couldn't handle whatever I was going to let out of that box, because I've learned how to carry on.
Roxanne Shanté is here. We have more with her when we come back. We're talking about her legacy, the Bobby Digital Presents Juice Crew album that's all about her, and of course, Roxanne, what is next when it comes to television and film? It's Way Up.
You vibing way up with Angela Yee.
Come right back.
More now.
What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee, and Roxanne Shanté is here. You know her from getting the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award last year, but also her groundbreaking career that started in the 80s. You grew up as a battle rapper and walking around and coming up with rhymes and doing that. I have to imagine that sometimes situations are happening in your head, you're writing a battle rap again.
Baby,
against the person
all the time. Like, it's so funny because when me and my husband do have like, say we're having like an argument or we're having a strong discussion, the first thing that comes in my head, give me a beat.
Let me get back in the studio.
Like, I just get started, like, and then he's like, oh, this is not going to turn off. It's like, no, it's not. And so don't start it, and then after a while he goes, okay, I yield to the queen, and he'll give me a hug and he'll stop because he knows, like, verbally I'll be ready.
Listen, I know you do. I'm thinking about all the battles that happened today. It feels like people are cautious about, like, oh, we can't go there. I think about the old, Roxanne, Shanté rhymes.
Oh, yeah, they used to get me.
Your little voice, and you going in, you used to be going in on people too.
Absolutely.
But y'all was talking about being gonorrhea, like all kinds of stuff.
Everything.
Today they'll try to sue you.
Yeah.
You'll be like, oh, she said I had gonorrhea.
Yeah. Now the whole world thinks I got it. Da, 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 da. And it's crazy because back then I think that is where the freedom was. And I tell people all the time when I look at these battles today, though I love them, I'm entertained with them and everything, but for me they're not really battles because if I've had 3 months to prepare for you, then that's not a battle.
Yeah, that's not a freestyle.
That's not a freestyle.
It's a written. And so these people
that's a concert. I need to just show up as is, or either they just need to take everybody's name and put it in a hat. Whoever they feel is the greatest, come up with one big gigantic cash prize, and whatever name you pick out, that's your partner. Be ready in 5 minutes.
You need to start that league.
Let's do it.
Even you going up against the men.
Yes.
And you were this little 5-foot girl going in on them, and it was devastating for a man to lose to you.
Yeah, it was career ending because now if they went to another battle someplace else, they'd be like, yeah, but that's the one that lost to that little girl. like they never wanted that. It was really a harsh title for them to lose to me. So for a lot of them, they would just literally give me the money not to battle.
Right now, Roxanne Shanté is here. She made history as the first solo female rapper to receive a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. Salt and Pepper, they had this lawsuit and they didn't end up getting the money from ownership of their records. And I know you've never seen a royalty at all.
Never.
But there's also all these laws. I don't know how it works. But is it something you've said, let me look into this?
It's not something that I have been looking into. It is something that people have approached me with it. And it seems like it's the same thing over and over again. Like, I haven't had a genuine person come and say, okay, listen, we're going to get this, because I'll be more than willing to pay them for it.
Yeah.
But I never want to just fall back into searching and looking for things and going through that when it's going to take away concentration from all of the things that I'm doing now.
But congratulations on everything.
Thank you.
It's always exciting for me to see you, to hear from you. And people don't tell you enough. You are definitely an icon status. And so for me, like I said, seeing you is always a surreal experience for me because it just makes me feel like I made it. I'm sitting here talking to Roxanne Shanté.
Yes, you have. Please believe it. Yes.
All right. Well, again, make sure y'all listen to this Bobby Digital Presents, because the younger generation, I think, has to get familiarized with these stories and understand them. That's why I love what Mass Appeal is also doing.
Yes, absolutely. Shout out to Nas.
Yeah, and to see you thriving is always a blessing and a pleasure. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Watch that full interview on my YouTube channel, Way Up With Yee. When we come back, it's your show, and you have the last word.
Pick up the phone.
Tap in. Tap in and get your voice heard.
What the word is.
Here's the last word on Way Up with Angela Yee.
Yo, it's Way Up with Angela Yee, and I'm here with, Dan is here, Navy's here.
Yep.
Roxanne Shanté joined us today. She's definitely a legend. We talked about this in the interview, but the two of us traveled to South Africa together, to Johannesburg, and it was an amazing experience. I was thinking about other legends I would like to see a biopic about.
Okay. What you think about? What you thinking?
Because she did show me a trailer for the one that's on the way for Bismarcky, which looks amazing.
No, that's an epic one because he used to work with Nick Cannon early on too. It just branches out to a lot of different stories.
What legend would you like to see? Big Daddy Kane, Rakim,
KRS-One.
KRS-One for sure. And the whole Boogie Down Productions.
Yeah, Boogie Down Productions.
D Nice has his memoir coming out. He was part of Boogie Down Productions.
Word. They call me D Nice.
Yeah. I love hearing about these stories because it was such a different day and age when musicians were coming up. But anyway, check out that full interview with Roxanne Shanté on my YouTube, Way Up With Yee. And thank you guys for calling in today. And I also was talking about the show Unlocked on Netflix. So if you haven't seen that, watch that. It's quite interesting, this experiment, this social experiment that they're doing. And this is your show. So, of course, you have the last word.